Hello and welcome to a very special Bloomfield Community Television production as we bring you the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup game from Seaholm High School. I'm Brad Fetters from BACB Sports, and I'm going to turn over the broadcast now to Carter Mahalski. Carter will be handling the play-by-play duties tonight and was one of 7 campers in our inaugural sports broadcasting camp. In fact, nearly our entire production crew tonight consists of students from our viewing area that spent a week learning from professional broadcasters on how a live sports broadcast is run. The seat is yours, Carter. Take it away.
Thanks, Brad. As you mentioned, we're here for the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup, a matchup between the Warriors of Brother Rice and the Seaholm Maples. It's an early season game for both teams. In fact, the Brother Rice Warriors can't come into this game with a 1-0 record. Their head coach is Danny Price and is standing by with BCTV sideline reporter Kennedy Flemings. Kennedy?
Thank you, guys. I'm down here with Coach Danny Price. Coach, what is the mindset that you have coming into a game like this on today?
It's a difficult one. It's a rivalry game, obviously, with us being 2 Birmingham schools, but it's one that we wanted to create several years ago now with the Keith Bernacki Trophy. So it's always a good start to the season. You know, Coach and I know each other well, you know, from our club days. So it'll be an interesting test, but you know, I think both teams will be up for it. It'll be a good game.
Okay, and speaking of Keith Bernacki, what does it mean to you knowing that this is the first game of the season, but that you guys get to play in the annual game every single year?
It's something we started, 5 years ago now. You know, Keith's just been such a great part of both schools, both here as a teacher and at Brother Rice's, you know, a soccer player for so many years. You know, it's just a wonderful way to honour the man that supported both schools and his family. So we look forward to it every year. It's a great game.
Okay, and my last question for you is, what can we expect from your players on tonight?
Hopefully toughness. Good game. You know, we'll certainly try and make it entertaining, get the ball down and play. And, you know, it's going to, like I said, it's going to be a difficult game. They're always a tough challenge for us. So, yeah, you know, we should make it a good contest, hopefully.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kennedy. And now for the Seaholm Maples. They come into tonight's contest with a 2-1-1 record, where they played in the Boyne Mountain Invitational. And more about the Seaholm Maples, let's head to BCTV's own Brooke Sanders. Brooke?
Thank you, guys. I am here with the head coach of Seaholm High School, Greg Perkins. Greg, how excited are you for tonight's game?
Very excited. I mean, great way to kick off the season every year. Boys are ready. So, yeah, we're hoping for a good game.
Good game. And how has overcoming adversity been, and what has that taught you throughout this series, you know, just with this Keith Bernacki Cup?
I mean, it's our home opener or our season opener every year, so it's a rivalry, right? So the boys are always excited to do it and play. We had a weekend up north this past weekend, so we've got a few minutes under our belt. And yeah, just raring to go. First time at home, get the guys playing in front of our fans, and they're excited to show what they've got for sure.
And lastly, seeing that Keith was a active member in this community of Seaholm, and you being the coach of Seaholm High School, what has that legacy meant to you and your team?
I mean, it's awesome, right? I mean, everybody knows the story. We've talked about it. They want to represent him well and the family well, and just put on a good show, right? And whether we win, whether we lose, we do the right things. We do it in the right way, and it gives us something to work on. But we want to put a good show on for the family every year, for sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and good luck tonight. Back to you, Brad and Carter.
Thanks, Brooke and Coach Perkins. We are nearly set to go, but first, let's go down to the pitch for Seaholm's athletic director, Aaron Frank.
Mr. Bernacki was a beloved Seaholm teacher and coach who contracted Ewing sarcoma as a teenager. While battling this rare cancer, Mr. Bernacki was an inspirational English teacher at Seaholm, leading the Maples to league, regional, and state championships in tennis. An all-state tennis and soccer player at Brother Rice, Keith Bernacki was a fierce competitor, excellent student, and supportive friend. Coach Bernacki had a tremendous impact on his family, friends, colleagues, students, and all of us at Seaholm and Brother Rice. He lost his battle with cancer at the young age of 33. With Keith's friends, family, and former players, we celebrate his memory and legacy each year with our annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Soccer Game between the Maples and the Warriors.
Welcome back to Seahome High School. I'm Connor Mahalski, joined alongside by Brooke Sanders, Brother Rice wearing their away kits, white kits with black numbers, and Seahome wearing their home maroon kits with white numbers. It's an overcast day, poured a lot this morning, so we'll see how the wet field will affect. Brooke, how does a wet field affect your playing style?
I think like definitely makes a turf, a little bit slipperier, and it definitely can just kind of throw off the friction between like the ball and the turf. So I'm excited to see what both teams bring. I got an opportunity to speak with Seahome head coach, and seems fired up. So I can't wait.
All right, and the goalie for Brother Rice, number 27, Sebastian Lauren, and for Seahome, goalkeeper Brody Fieldmeyer. We're getting ready for kickoff here in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. Seahome to kick it away. And here we go. The 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup is underway. Seahome's going to boot that down the field to number 9, Glavin McLaughlin. He's going to get it contested by Brother Rice, sorry. It's going to be a free kick for Seahome. Seahome and Brother Rice getting ready to receive this free kick. Seahome's going to boot that into the goalie box. Far side. Nice shot, but the Maples can't get it on the board early. Nice save by Sebastian Lauren for Brother Rice. That'll be a goal kick here. Just over a minute in this amazing Memorial Cup here. Late August. Sebastian Lauren's going to boot that down the field. Past midfield. Seems going to intercept that with a header. Rebattling it out at midfield. That's going to go out. Brother Rice throw in. Very intense pace by Brother Rice, really trying to keep this tempo up, not let Seahome have a chance to breathe at all. It's going to go out. Goal kick here for Seahome. Quick little pass to the far side of the field. That'll be number 5, Marco Rodriguez for Seahome. It's going to go past midfield. So we have a throw in here for Seahome.
Number 20, Liam Kier.
Thank you, and it's going to go out of bounds again. Another Seahome throw in. Nice throw in there by number 20, Liam, as you said. And Seahome's Brian Pohl. Just put that one down the field. Some tough contact. That's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Brother Rice. Seahome with some quick tempo, but that's not enough for Sebastian Lauren to get distracted. Still 0-0 here. About 4 minutes in to tonight's contest. Ooh, nice header by Brother Rice. Seahome, though. Seahome's goalie, Brody Feldmeyer, is going to take control of that one.
And then I noticed that he's, stopping, taking his time before the kick. Make sure it's precise.
Yeah. This will be a nice little contest. Brother Rice will come out with it, though. Oh. And the foot race to the ball here on the far side of the goalie box. And Seahome just going to clear that out of there. Nice little punt. And foot race to gain control of the ball. Seahome. And that will be a penalty. That's going to be a penalty on Brother Rice. Seahome's going to do. And that was a penalty on number 18, Javier Mino. And you cannot push a player to the ground. That's going to be a free kick for Seahome on the far side. And Seahome trying to gain control, but Brother Rice, nice defense here. So I'm going to lob it over the defense's heads. But Seahome can gain control. And they're looking to put the first points on the board. And Seaholm trying to gain control before it goes out. And the ref says no. Goal kick here for Brother Rice. Still 0-0 here. 4 minutes gone. And Brother Rice. Nice kick by Sebastian Lauren. That's going to go out. Throw in Seaholm. You know, Brooke, how memorable is it to, pretty much open your season? I know these teams have played a few games, but how memorable is it to open your season up with this much of a Memorial game?
I think it definitely obviously adds a lot of pressure, but I also think it makes both of these teams unique. Not a lot of teams get an opportunity to play for something this big, so I think that they definitely are going to use this to their fullest potential and really set the momentum of how their season's going to go just as a whole.
Yeah, and that was a good play by the Seaholm goalie, Brody Feldmeyer, going a little bit far from his home in the goalie box, but he's going to clear that one out of the way, so Brother Rice has no chance to attack. That's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Brother Rice. Seaholm, number 20, Liam Kerr to throw it in. And Brother Rice, nice little interception there. Header it around, multiple headers. Wow. It's like 4 in a row, but Brother Rice, see him trying to regain control. That's going to be a nice slide tackle. Here comes Brother Rice trying to attack, start a little bit of something. It's been all Seaholm in this first half so far. It's going to be a foot race to gain control. That's the captain of Brother Rice, number 10, Ryan Hayes, sorry. And that's going to be the last touched. Free kick, sorry. That was a push there by Brother Rice. Number 7, Patrick McCarthy.
I think especially for the first couple of minutes of this game as well, it's been a back and forth pretty evenly.
Yeah, and that's Alex Rondeau, sorry, to kick that one into the goalie box. Nice little attack here for Brother Rice. But Seaholm trying to clear that one away, but no can do. Trying to regain possession. Brother Rice just going to kick that one out of bounds. Throw in for Seaholm. And here is Seaholm to throw the ball in. It's a nice pass. Foot race to gain control. Seaholm. And that's going to be out of bounds.
Looks
Last
like a little
touched.
friendly competition.
Yeah, let's see the replay on that one. And yeah. Just not much you can do about that one. Grove Brother Rice student section very happy about that call. And they're just gonna play on, no penalty. And Seaholm trying to get something going on here. And just over 7 minutes gone by here, 0-0 still in the first half. Seaholm has had most of the control though, been on their side, or been in Grove's territory, Brother Rice territory most of the pitch. And the Warriors are gonna punt that one down the field. Nice header by number 11, Kiefer Horniak.
Seems like goalkeeper Sebastian Lauren is just denying a ton of goals or attempts to come into his cage and set the tone of this game.
That's gonna be nice thrown by Seaholm. Seaholm trying to move back to attacking instead of playing defense. Seaholm's goalie is gonna have to chase that one down. The junior is gonna look around for an open man. Just find an open guy and boot it to him, or punt it downfield. He chose the second option. Brother Rice gonna gain control of that one on the near side of the pitch, past midfield, and that's gonna go out of bounds into the stands. And we're still 0-0 here, almost 9 minutes gone by, and the first half. Brother Rice looking to put together a little bit of an attack.
Brother Rice is, they've had a very, interesting season, especially last year in 2024 with, a 10-8-2 record. So, and then if you look at Seaholm's record, last year they went and they kind of had a little similar record. So both of these teams are very neck and neck, and they're fighting to the very end.
And no penalty called there by the referee. He's letting these boys play. And there's a lot of contact there, but the refs letting these boys play. Brian Poole to the far side of the pitch here. Number 20, Evo Gertz. And that's going to be punted to the Brother Rice goalkeeper. He's going to roll the ball to the far side of the pitch. And that's going to be last touch by Seaholm. And the Forest has shown out for their first home game of the season today. And they are in the front row in the jerseys, and they're making a ton of noise, letting the Brother Rice players hear it. Burke, how much does a home field advantage affect high school sports? Because, college and pro, that's a lot of effect. But, high school, there's not a ton of people. What can it do to you even as a young player?
I definitely think it's going to be used as momentum for sure. I mean, everyone wants to be supported. So just to see your teammates, your classmates, or, just whoever come out and support you in the stands, friends, family, it's definitely got to be a good feeling for sure.
Yeah, and here comes for the Rice on the attacking. The Warriors, nice shot, but the goalkeeper of the Maples, Brody Feldmeyer, is a tough cookie to crack. So look for an open man here. And here is... And let's head down to Kennedy, who's with Jeff Calcaterra, the Brother Rice athletic director.
Thank you, guys. I'm down here with Coach Cal. Coach, what do you think this soccer game means to the Brother Rice community?
This is an honor for us to be able to play in a game to honor Keith Bernacki, who's one of our fallen warriors, who was a tennis and soccer player at Brother Rice, who ended up being a tremendous teacher and coach at Seaholm High School. So the fact that these two programs and these two communities can come together to honor Keith's memory and to honor his family, his wife, his son, his parents, his aunts and uncles who were here today, I think it's a tremendous thing.
Okay, and what do you think of the Brother Rice and the Seaholm soccer program?
I think soccer has grown over the last 20 years or so. Being a European sport, it has really come to fruition here at Brother Rice. We've had successful programs, successful teams, as well as Seaholm. So this is going to be a great match today.
Okay, and my last question for you is, I know you said that you personally don't know Keith, but do you think he would feel honored and proud knowing that his legacy is being carried on in today?
Absolutely. I'm a little bit older than Keith, so I graduated in '88 from Brother Rice, so I'm a few decades older than he is. But I do believe that he's looking down upon us, and I think he's smiling for what we're able to do in his honor, and I think it means a lot to his family that we keep his memory going.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kennedy. Always good to hear from both athletic directors. They've had their share of TV time today, but the Brother Rice student section, even though they're away, they have still shown out in pretty good numbers trying to counter what the Forest is doing, but don't know if that's going to really change. How is it to have both student sections here today?
I definitely think there's, to say the least, friendly competition. I think it adds more entertainment to the game, to say the least, and I think that they're all showing up and they're showing out, so they want their teams to do the same, and it's a rivalry game, so they're not new to this.
Yeah, and that was a nice tackle there by Seaholm's number 4, Max Collins. He's going to try and keep that one in bounds, but the referee says nope, that one out of bounds. Brother Rice throwing. When you have those fast breaks, how devastating is it to have that ball go out of bounds?
I think it just makes them have to hustle even more, hustling to the goal, and then it goes out of bounds, and they have to come back, play defense, so I can only imagine.
All right, going to throw that one back to the goalie, and Brother Rice looking to find an open man here. Sebastian Lauren is going to boot that one pretty far to the other side of the pitch here, past midfield. And we have about 25 minutes to go left in the first half. Still 0-0. but Brother Rice and Seaholm trying to take control of the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup.
And I know you mentioned that both student sections are out, and Brother Rice there in a way, but they're still showing up and showing out. And I think it's important to know that the audience knows that Keith was an all-state honorable mention at Brother Rice, so his legacy is holding within this school, and it's just important for them to show out and show that support.
Yeah, and Seaholm again on a fast break. Try and shoot that one, but that's gonna go really wide. That's gonna be a goal kick here by Brother Rice. And Brother Rice student section letting Max Collins hear it. And that was number 8, Brian Pohl, to take that. And that's going to be a nice little boot by Brother Rice just to, get that ball out of there. But Seaholm is going to take the throw in. Referee saying, move back. And that is number 20, Evo Gertz. He's going to throw that ball into out of the pitch. I was pitch side earlier today, and I could just feel the energy radiating off those players. I know you were there for some interviews. Were the coaches the same way?
Yeah, so I, got the lovely opportunity to speak with Greg Perkins, Seaholm head coach. He was, super excited. He knows, the outcomes of last year's event, obviously with Brother Rice defeating them in this series. So, we talked about adversity and overcoming that, and what that meant, and they're ready for tonight.
Yeah, and the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. Speaking about that, both teams looking to take control of the cup. Both tied at 2, 2, and 1. That one tie came in 2022. That was a 1-1 draw. And Seaholm won it the next year, but Brother Rice has kept it in their trophy case for most of this cup. And it's going to be a bit of an injury timeout. And looks to be Ryan Hayes, the captain of this Brother Rice team. He is the midfielder. Let's take a look at this replay. Brooke, what did you see here?
It looks like he just, went down kind of awkwardly, and yeah, it might have been the header. So it looks like he got right back up. So
yeah,
seems like they're gonna play on.
Yep, play on. Rub some dirt on it, as the coaches would say. We're on turf, so you can't really do that. Anyway, 23 minutes left in regulation. Still 0-0 here, and both teams trying to take control of the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. And Brother Rice here on the throw-in.
And I think it's important for, Brother Rice especially to, play their game.
Sorry about that. I was just going to say that there was a sub, and number 8 for Brother Rice will come on out today's game for now.
Seeing that they are holding the trophy right now, it's super important for them to play their pace and, not force any, bad passes or bad shots.
That person coming out was Kellen Hughes. And something about high school soccer that is not in the pros, you can get unlimited substitutions. So you even know that you might be on the starting lineup and come out, you still have a chance to come back in. And that is good for both the athletes and everybody else around the athletes. The starting players, could cramp later in the game. And if all the players cramp, how detrimental is that to have, your starting best players cramp? You just can't do anything about it. And Brother Rice going. Looks to be a goal kick for Seaholm. Seaholm's goalie, Brody Feldmeyer, just looking around for an open man. He's going to boot that one to Brian Pohl, a senior. Number 9 going to pass that past midfield on the far side of the pitch. And 21 minutes left in regulation for the first half. Still 0-0 here. Seaholm and Brother Rice looking to edge victorious in this epic matchup. And that's going to go out of bounds on the Warriors. And we're here, Maple Field, here at Seaholm High School. Nice little overcast, sun starting to peek out a little bit in late August. A lot of rain earlier today, but pitch looking to dry up. I'm Garmalski sitting alongside with Brooks Sanders in this 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup right here on BCTV. It's going to be a throw-in for Brother Rice here. And the Forest starting to spread out a little bit. Not a bunch, but now they are spreading out. But Seaholm goalie going to pass that one to Brian Pohl. And it's number 21, Leo Bowen. And Brother Rice player going to get pushed to the ground. That was number 16, Roldo Garcia, to intercept that one. No, intercept by Seaholm again. That's a very fast-paced contact. Going back and forth, back and forth. A pass mid-pitch there, midfield, and that offsides. And you cannot go in front of the last defender when you are on offense before the pass. And Brooke, how detrimental is that? You're on a long run, and then we have a penalty to stop the play.
I think it's exhausting, and I can only imagine. And I was talking with, like I said, Greg Perkins, and he was just mentioning to me how important it is to train and keep that endurance. And his team has been preparing for this, especially if we take into account the last result of 2024's game in this series with Brother Rice taking home this cup.
And nice little free kick by Brother Rice there. Something fell onto the field. Don't know what that was, but both teams going to kick that off to the side. All right, let's head it back down to Kennedy, who's standing by with Manny Rodriguez. Kennedy?
Thank you, guys. I'm done here with Coach Manny. Coach, I know that you have soccer in your blood. What are your overall thoughts as soccer continues to grow?
Here in the United States, I think it's picking up every year. I've been here a long time now. I think it really started with the girls over here being really successful at the World Cup, and obviously with the World Cup coming here very soon, I think the boys team, the men's team, have got some work to do, but they've got a fantastic coach, and I think it starts at this level, right? It starts when these kids are little, and they've got to play the travel game, and they've got to be able to play this game from the ages of 6, 7, 8 if they want to compete with the rest of Europe and the rest of the world, because that's what happens, right? A lot of competition here with other sports, but, some, if not all, the best athletes in the world are here. They're just currently not all playing soccer, right? So I think it's moving in the right direction, and I'm super excited to see at the tail of my end of my career here that the game is becoming even more popular.
Okay, and my last question for you is, how do you think Keith would feel knowing that Seaholm is honoring his legacy by playing this game every single year?
Oh, I think he would be absolutely chuffed by the whole thing. I mean, he was a teacher here at Seaholm. He played the game and he coached the game and he loves tennis. And I mean, this is what this is all about. Yeah, we all want to win. They want to win badly. We want to win. We don't like to lose. But ultimately, the biggest goal here is to raise awareness for the tragedy that happened. And I think it's fantastic. The boys love this game. They mark their calendar every year, as do the Brother Rice boys. And that's what this is all about. You got the crowd here tonight, and it's just just tremendous fun, and it's great. So.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kennedy. And he was talking about the 1999 World Cup team when the USA won. They were the underdogs, obviously, because the U.S. wasn't really associated with soccer. They were thought to have bigger and better sports to do, but they kind of snuck into the World Cup and ended up did winning it. And while Kennedy was talking to Manny Rodriguez, Seaholm had a very nice attack, got very close to scoring, but could not. 16 minutes left to go in the first half here. Still 0-0 here at Seaholm High School in this late August evening. Nice little fight for the ball. Throw in for Seaholm here. Little scuffle for possession. And that to be number 4, Max Collins, who's going to fall to the ground. That appears to be a free kick. And still 0-0 here. About 15 minutes left to play here in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup in this late August evening.
And we can hear the students in the student section, both teams just fired all the way up. I mean, like, can you hear that? I can
Yeah,
hear
they're
it.
100% excited for, I don't know if it's school, but they're definitely excited for sports. And that is another thing, and that's a great thing that comes with high school. You know, all the different types of sports that, you know, you can actively participate in. So many cool sports offered by both programs. And just so many of them that I can't even say them all in this one broadcast. It's going to be number 11, Keither Horniak for Seaholm. Intercept that possession. Nice little scuffle for possession, and that's going to be a Seaholm throw-in. Kiefer Horniak to throw that one in. Still on the very near side of the pitch. That one's going to go out of play. But the right throw in here. And no. A lot of contact. Lot of contact here. But the refs letting the boys play.
And then you asked me earlier, you know, how do I think, you know, student sections can influence the game? Well, I mean, like, people want to play harder when they know that they have an audience. So I think that, you know, the student sections on both programs, you know, have an influence on this game.
Ooh, and that's going to be an insane save by Seaholm's Brody Feldmeyer. Jumps over everybody to protect that Seaholm net and protect the still scoreless of both teams. Nice little attack for Seaholm. And both student sections fired up. That appears to be an offsides. And it's offsides, and you cannot go in front of the defender when you're on offense. But, you know, it starts to get a little repetitive. You know, when you don't get any scoring, how detrimental can that be? Because we only have about 13 minutes left. How detrimental can that be when you have less time left and you've been on the field for almost 30 minutes now?
You know, I can only imagine it's frustrating, you know, they're sprinting up and down the field.
And that's going to be an injury timeout. Number 4,
Four.
Max Collins, the senior. He's going to get right back up. I don't know if he was looking for a penalty, but he's going to get right back up. And that's going to be Carlos Nawam that appears to push him down. And that's no penalty. Nice little kick there by the goalie of Brother Rice. He's really good with kicking down the field. Ooh, nice little slide tackle to lose possession for Seaholm. And the ref's going to call something. And that's going to be a nice substitution. Number 12 and number 24, Evan Longhe. And that's about it. Number 14, Filippo Leone coming on out. Get some rest. Legs have to be on fire after almost 30 minutes of constant running. You know, these players want to, you know, get that win, but also they want the bragging rights. You know, when you win a rivalry game, you get bragging rights for the whole year, and there's nothing the other school can do about it. It's number 11 for Seaholm, Kiefer Horniak. I've called his name many times. He's been working out there. Nice distraction. Rowan. And that's a goal for Seaholm. Rowan Hanush. He's gonna get Seaholm on the board first. 1-0. And he's gonna be shushing the Brother Rice student section. Telling him to be quiet. Scoreboard says otherwise. Seaholm first to score on the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. 1-0. 11 minutes, 49 seconds left to go in the first half.
That was a nice little celly there.
Yeah, and if you look, you can see that the other Seaholm player, I don't know who he was, but he cleared the way. He pretty much parted the sea, and he made sure that nobody was in the way, so that you just get a quick and easy goal for Rowan Hanush. And here comes the replay.
And you can see him pretty much getting open and, just talk about like using your teammates and just like, bouncing to setting them up for success to clear that open path to where he can slam that ball in bottom right corner, it looked like.
Yeah, and he's a junior. He first to score. That's pretty good, being the first person to score in the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup, the 6th annual edition. That's pretty good. And we are 28 minutes in of the first half in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. I'm Carl Malski, joined alongside by Brooks Sanders. We're here at Maple Field in Seaholm High School. And it looks to be Seaholm substitutions. TJ Cotilla, the sophomore. And then number 11, Nick Alexander coming in as well. Good to get some fresh boots on the ground. Seeing that, you can get some freshly rested up players. And here's Roman again. Oh, and that's going to be, looks to be offside. And how detrimental is that to get all the way down the field and then get a penalty all the way back at pretty much the 30-yard line?
I think that, I think it's obviously like frustrating, like I said, it's definitely, yeah, the Maples are up one right now, but, for 30 minutes, over 30 minutes, they were pretty much neck and neck. So both teams are really putting pedal to the metal and battling for this cup.
Yeah, and number 10, Alex Martins, the senior, kick that one up to the far side of the pitch. Martins again, number 21, Leo Ballin. It's going to rocket that one towards the net, but that's going to be a little wide. Appears to be a corner kick for Seaholm. Must have been deflected by the Brother Rice goalie, number 27, Sebastian Lauren. And here's the replay. That appears to be Seaholm corner kick. Rocket that one towards the net. Nice defense by the Brother Rice team. And the Brother Rice student section fired up as always, trying to urge their team to score another goal to tie this one up with about 9 minutes left in the first half of the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup right here on BCTV. It's number 24, Aiden Perro. Ooh, nice interception by number 7, Alex Rondeau. And Seaholm quick to regain control. But Brother Rice closing in fast. That's going to be a quick interception. It's a 3-on-1. 3-on-2, sorry. Brother Rice. That's a nice slide tackle. What will the referee have to think about that one? That was Ryan Hayes for the Warriors. And that was some really rough contact inside the penalty box. But the referee saying, it's always good. Let's take a look at this replay.
And it looked like he was about to take that shot. Number 5, Marco Rodriguez.
It's going to be a corner kick for Brother Rice.
Hey guys, I have something I want to join in on. As you guys know, it's kind of muggy out here and it's hot and the players' hairs are getting drenched. I wonder if their legs are going to get tired quickly. And also, as you guys can see, the Seaholm and Brother Rice students, they have came out here to the game tonight supporting their team. And I just think that the support has been bringing the energy.
Thanks, Kennedy. That's going to be a goal by Evan Alongi. And he's going to tie that one up in the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. Brother Rice student section getting fired up as they tie this one up. And that is going to tie this one up with about 7 minutes and 32 seconds in the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. For the Warriors of Brother Rice, and they scored on the corner kick, and that takes all of the life out of the Seaholm student section and just the Maples team in general, and that gives a whole head of steam to the Brother Rice Warriors.
And both teams can really capitalize on, them being even at this point, and, they're warmed up, they're ready, and, first 30 minutes, it was kind of a slow game, slow to start, but, they're coming out and they're hot. We can feel it from here upstairs.
We got 4 shots of the goal here. Just a nice little, he was falling down. Gets that blocked by the Seaholm goalie. Here's another look at it. Deflected off a Seaholm player, and then just right spot, right time. And then the Brother Rice student section just hyped up as always. It's going to pinball around inside of the goalie box. Kind of like a pinball machine, if you've ever played one of those. Kind of going out of style, though, but hope to bring them back someday. They're really fun.
Look, we see this, the fans moving.
It's going to be a nice throw in.
And the Brother Rice student section has moved onto the bleachers. I don't know if this is intimidation or what, but nice little run here by Brother Rice, one-on-one. Brother's looking to help their man out, number 15, Colin Dobbs. Forward. That's going to be a free kick here.
And I think with the Brother Rice student section moving to the bleachers, I think they're getting comfortable. They're ready. They're sitting in. They're ready. They're ready for a good game. A nice game tonight.
And this has been a good game. About 6 minutes left to play in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup right here on BCTV. I'm Carter Mosky, joined alongside by Brooke Sanders. It's 1-1 all.
Hold on, let me talk to Steve.
Okay.
And here we go. Free kick, number 21, Leo Ballini. It's going to go straight to Brian Pohl, one of the few captains. Brooke, what is, the honor of being a captain, and what are the responsibilities that, also come along with it?
I think it's most definitely an honor because a lot of the times people who place the captainship onto their teammates, they're choosing that. So it's an honor because your teammates are looking at you and honoring you as someone that they know they can lead them, and it's also you're paving the way for the underclassmen. So it has a lot. It says a lot. When you see those armbands, you know that they're leaders for sure, and
I'm
they want the
good.
best for their team.
Yeah, 100%. And
Okay, so
that's just
like,
gonna.
So I noticed that y'all have
Evan
been,
Long and Ryan
encouraging your
Hanush,
team.
Rowan
What does it
Hanush
mean for you
opened the scoring for the Seaholm Maples, and Evan Long, he tied the equalizer only 4 minutes after. And if you look, the Forest wearing a ton of jerseys, while the Brother Rice student section wearing a bunch of neon orange, bright orange, and that's so that they can stand out in a crowd, and they for sure are doing that here. 1-1 with only about 4 minutes left to go. Big free kick there for the goalie Sebastian Lauren, and that's gonna pinball around on the field. Brother Rice student section really happy about that one, and then a foot race to gain control. I'm gonna push that one back. He's getting double teamed. He's going to clear that one out, though. Number 9, Gavin McLaughlin. Pass the one back to the goalie. Number 24, Aiden Perro has his hands up. It is very loud. The Brother Rice student section really fired up. And let's head down to Kennedy, who's with a fan.
Brady, correct?
Yes, Brady Thomas.
I see that you and your fellow classmates, you guys have been encouraging the team. Do you think the team is feeding off your guys' energy today?
Yes, for sure. I think they're feeding off our energy for sure, especially after that last goal over there. They really turned up the volume.
Okay, and so what are your thoughts on the refs officiating the game so far?
What was that in the rest of the game?
The refs officiating the game. Are you
The refs
agreeing with them?
officiating?
Yeah.
They've been doing a very good job for sure, calling penalties and all the above. They've been doing a really good job, so I'm very pleased with what they've been doing.
Okay, and my last question for you is throughout this game, are you and your classmates going to continue to bring the energy?
Oh, you better believe it. We of course we will. Of course we will. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the Brother Rice student section fired up, getting handshakes from both Kennedy and wow. Brother Rice, in that one goal, has completely turned the tables, and Brother Rice has all the momentum. And that's going to be offsides for Seaholm.
And I think if you're Seaholm in this, the main point is that you have to stay focused. You cannot let, the student section, the noise, kind of alter and, blur everything. Your focus is, scoring goals and, taking home that cup tonight.
100%. And, when Kennedy was over in the Brother Rice student section, I could not hear anything. That's just not good for Seaholm to be offsides. You really want to gain control, but that's just adding more fuel to the fire, and Brother Rice can just fuel up more and more and more, and that's just going to not be good because Brother Rice, very excited, very pumped up here. Seaholm has to do something to get the control back in their hands. They controlled it for the first, 30 minutes, but past 10 minutes, Brother Rice has not let them have it. Only about 2 minutes left to play in this first half. 1-1 all. But Brother Rice, the Warriors, seem to have taken all of the momentum from the Maples of Seaholm. And that's just something that, you can't have happen as the home crowd. The home crowd has been silenced. They have not said much. Number 7 for the Warriors. Foot race for the control. Number 8, Brian Pohl, the senior captain, to regain control of that one. Ooh, nice interception there by number 7, Alex Rondeau, but that's going to go out of bounds. And throw in here for Seaholm Maples, number 24, Aiden Paro. So kick that one in. Brian Pohl gets that off a deflection. Number 3, TJ Cotilla. So gonna boot that one. Nice interception by the Warriors. Basket out of bounds. Quick tempo by the Seaholm Maples. Try and get something in this game. Ooh, that was not very good team communication. But still have to play through, and there's going to be a stoppage in play. It's be Brother Rice free kick. Sebastian Lauren has been on fire today. Everything except one goal. And we have 1 minute in this first half of this intense Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. And, Caden Cotilla, that ball went out on him. He committed the penalty and got his knee. And free kick here from number 16, Arnaldo Garcia. So boot that one in far side goalie box. That's going to go left to right. Out of play. Looks to be a Seaholm throw-in. Oh, the ball's going to get past him. Just going to roll that one. We have 15 seconds. But first, let's head down to a Seaholm fan who's staying by with Kennedy.
Okay, Alec and Shay, I hear you guys cheering throughout this game. What does this game mean to you two as fans?
This means everything to me. This is the big game. It's the rival game. We got to show out.
Yeah, biggest rivalry in soccer, so, got to show up for the boys.
Okay, and I hear you guys cheering. Is that going to continue throughout the game, and is it going to continue in the second half?
Oh, yeah.
For sure, and if anything, it's going to get louder.
Okay, I'm excited. Thank you guys.
We're all tied up here as we head into halftime in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. Seaholm 1, Rice 1, right here on BCTV.
Every August in the heat of the summer, schools from all over the area are beginning their fall sports. One of those sports is boys soccer, but one soccer game stands out among the rest. It's the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup, which is played every year between Brother Rice and Seaholm to honor a man that left us way too soon.
A group of boosters were meeting and planning, and someone said to me, we really should have an official name for the game. We should do something that is more than just, Seaholm versus Brother Rice. Does anybody have any ideas? And just right away, I thought the very best thing we could do would be to name this game after Keith and produce a cup of some sort, and then honor Keith's legacy.
Keith Bernacki was born to Ed and Karen Bernacki on May 11th, 1977, and had a normal childhood, but fell in love with sports at a very young age.
As a child, he was very, very active. He wanted, and anything related to a ball, he enjoyed.
His summers were baseball, soccer was in the fall, basketball and skiing were in the winter. Golf and tennis were in the spring, and also soccer in the spring.
And Keith continued to follow his passion of sports all the way through high school at Brother Rice. He was named Honorable Mention All-State as a soccer player and First Team All-State as a tennis player, and would go on to graduate and attend the University of Michigan. But in the winter of 1997, while at U of M, the Bernacki family would learn the news that Keith was diagnosed with a rare cancer called Ewing's sarcoma.
It's a very, very aggressive bone tumor, and it's usually seen in teenagers and young adults.
That was a pretty major blow. You know, they didn't tell you that you would live a long time.
I knew it was bad, but I sort of took it upon myself as my job is to distract Keith from everything else. He's going to go to his appointments, he's going to get treated with my parents. I'm going to go visit him there, but when he's home, it's distract him with video games, distract him with sports.
And despite fighting a battle internally, Keith never let it slow him down thanks to his family. He'd go on to graduate from the University of Michigan with an undergraduate degree in political science and a master's degree in education, which helped him land a job as an English teacher and tennis coach at Seaholm. While at U of M, he would also meet his eventual wife, Katie, in 2002, and they would get married in 2006. They would also go on to have a son named Will in 2009, and Katie admits that Keith was a fantastic father.
Very hands-on. So Keith wasn't working much. He had been on disability then when Will was born. So between his treatments, his mom would sometimes come over if he needed the extra help. But he was the stay-at-home dad, so to speak. Yeah, so he's very into being a dad.
But as time passed, the cancer grew, and just like he would in a game, Keith battled the disease to the end with tremendous fight, but passed away at the age of 33 on February 22, 2011. But like in life, in death, Keith's passing left a lasting impact on the community, and to honor him, the first Memorial Cup was played between Seaholm and Brother Rice October 3, 2020. The family, as well as Seaholm Athletic Director Aaron Frank, are now happy to see the community continue to honor the memory of Keith moving forward.
It means a lot to me, especially when some of his former teammates come back.
It's really one of the most meaningful days, even though it's, an early season game and it's not playoffs and we're not in the same league. It really is one of the most meaningful days of the year, whether the game is here or away.
Keith passed away over 14 years ago, and they're still doing this. Many of the families, many of the students and athletic players who knew him are gone. And I think he would absolutely appreciate this. He would think it's awesome that there's a soccer game named after him with a trophy named after him.
It's really special. I love it for Will. He doesn't talk about his dad much, but I know it means a lot to him, and I know that he's got some emotions probably deep down about it, but it's nice, really just touching, and that people still remember him and have this honor.
When we were coming home from the hospital in January of 1997, Keith was terrified. And he said, Dad, I had such modest goals in life. I wanted to graduate from college. I wanted to get a job. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have a family. And I wanted to make a difference in at least one person's life. I told him that story the day before he died. And I said, you remember those things, those goals you had? On that last one, you really overachieved on making a difference in someone's life because you touched so many, many people.
Welcome back to the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. I'm Carl Mahalski, joined alongside by Brooke Sanders. Our sideline reporters, Zoe Stoller, will be alongside us shortly. 1-1 here in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. Ryan Hanush opened the scoring 28 minutes in. And Evan Alongi has the equalizer 4 minutes later. Ryan Hanoush for Seaholm. Brother Rice scored the second one. And this is the second half underway here at Maple Field, and we are in beautiful Seaholm High School. And let's head down to our sideline reporter Zoe Stoller, who is with Ed Bernacki.
Thank you, Carter. I'm here with Ed Bernacki. Ed, what do you think Keith would think of all of this?
Well, I know he would be honored by this, but I also know that he would be humbled by this. As his brother Kurt said in the movie, Keith would get a big kick out of this because he was so competitive. But once the game was over, he was always looking out for those who weren't helpful.
Now, coming back to be able to come to this game every year, what do you and your family think of it?
I mean, it's an absolute honor for our family to have Keith died 14 years ago, and for the communities. And I can tell you that ever since Keith was diagnosed in 1997, the Brother Rice community was behind him 100%. And after he started working at Seaholm in 2001, there was another community 1 mile away that supported him famously, unconditionally, for all of his life.
Thank you so much, Ed. Once again, that was Keith Bernacki. Back to you, Carter.
Thank you, Zoe, and that is just some moving stuff there by Ed Bernacki, Keith Bernacki's dad here. And we are 3 minutes into the second half, 1-1, all tied up in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup right here on BCTV. And the goalie for Seaholm going to kick that one away. Seaholm moving with some pressure, trying to put some pressure on Brother Rice. And, Seaholm controlled the tempo for, the first, 30 minutes or so, Brooke. But, lately in the second half, it was all Brother Rice all the way. How demoralizing is that to, have the momentum so much of the game, and then in the last part, pretty much just lose it? Yeah, and we are here, Seaholm in maroon, moving left to right, and Brother Rice in the white, moving right to left. And we're here in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup, 1-1, about 4 minutes in, and we are under the lights here at Maple Field. And this is always fun, just, young high schoolers, and that amazing save there by Brother Rice goalie Sebastian Lauren. And I don't know how that one didn't go in. That's just some amazing save by Sebastian Lauren. Brooke, how demoralizing is that for Seaholm? Again, trying to get all the momentum, but they can't get anything.
Keeper was all the way down, and he kept that ball out of the goal. And you talk about teamwork and just setting each other up for success in tonight's game.
100%, and looks to be a throw-in for Brother Rice here. Ooh, some contact there. The Rice player goes to the ground, but the Warriors the Seaholm Maples goalkeeper taking care of business here. Trying to store some life here. Gonna boot that one across the field. Oops.
I think it's been...
Ooh, that's going to be a push. But referee says play on. Seaholm bench, Seaholm student section wondering where the call was on that one. And honestly, I don't know how that one didn't get called, but ref saw something different, I guess.
It's definitely been a battle of the goalies for sure. I think, both goalies on both teams, Sebastian Lauren and Brody Fieldmeyer, definitely just showing out tonight and really, they are really setting the tone for this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's been multiple shots on goal that, both goalies have saved, and Brother Rice will do a tomahawk chop and getting this team fired up for the Warriors. That's exactly what the Brother Rice student section is doing. And also, what they're doing with that as well is keeping Brother Rice's students, keeping the forest of Seaholm, just quiet. They have nothing, nothing to answer Brother Rice with. And this is a very physical game, as you just saw, and that's an injury timeout. Evan Alongi, he's going to get right back up. He's going to be on the ground for a minute. That's going to be a yellow card for number 9, Gavin McLaughlin. And that's going to be he's fired up, not very happy about that one. And then Cubs substitution, Max Collins, the senior, for him. And Brother Rice let him hear it. Let's see a replay here.
Just looks like he went completely down, maybe tripped even.
And that's just some intense contact. You can't have that happen if you want to anything. And that yellow card and MHSAA ruling, he has to sit, but he can return. Although, if he gets another yellow, that results in a red card, and he is ejected, and he cannot come back into this game. That's something that is, standard. Red card, you're ejected for all levels of soccer. Doesn't matter how old you are.
And I think at this point, the coach just has to kind of tell the players to just stay smart, especially for the Maples. Stay smart, play smart. No silly calls because, again, like you said, another yellow will equal an ejection from the field.
Yeah, and there, the gameplay is slowed down a little bit, but, we are 33 minutes left to play in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. This game is flown by. I'm Karmalski, joined alongside me by Brooke Sanders, and you are watching the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup right here at Maple Field. But more importantly, it's on BCTV. Here we go. This little boot there by Seaholm, trying to get it in to the Rice territory so that they can start something, get some energy fired up back into these Seaholm fans. And that's going to be a hard hit to the ground. The 20, Liam Kerr for Seaholm. Foot race, number 3 for Seaholm. Across that name, that's going to be a nice assist. Goal, Seaholm Maples. And that was an amazing shot for number 21. Leo Ballin is showing some life back into the forest for Seaholm. Leo Ballini, he is the senior, his last Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup appearance. And he's going to make that one count. 2-1, Seaholm on top. 32-34 left to play in tonight's matchup.
And I think that, at this point in the game, they're 2-2, so it's just going to have to, they're going to use that as momentum, 2-1.
And that's going to be Leo Ballini for the score, but, great field awareness by the sophomore TJ Cotilla of just seeing the open man, crossing it across the pitch. And that's going to be another attack for Seaholm. Foot race to try and get the ball. And nothing doing. Oh, some contact there as we go with about 32 minutes left to play in regulation of the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup here. Appears to be a corner kick from number 10, Alex Martins, the senior. And I am Karmalski, joined alongside by Brooke Sanders, the 3rd member of our crew. So Stoller will be joining us shortly when she has more epic topics to talk to us about. And you're watching this 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup on the best TV network in all of the world, BCTV. Let's go about to play substitution here, number 15 and number 13 for Brother Rice Platten Schub and Max Nuclei. Number 12 and number 5 are going to come out. Henry Zahau and Evan Longhi going to come out for Brother Rice. It's a highly paced game here, and Seaholm took control of the matchup.
And number 4, Max Collins had a great slide tackle to set up that last goal for his team.
Yeah, 100%. That's good. And here comes some more substitutions. And let's head down to Zoe Stoller, who's with Aaron Frank.
Aaron, you've been here for 28 years. How has soccer evolved here at Seaholm?
Well, I think the game is played a lot faster now than it was, 3 decades ago when I started. And also, we do a lot more for fan engagement. So we make it a much bigger show now, and it's a lot more fun for the fans, for our students, and I think that makes it a lot more fun for the players.
Now, being able to host the Bernacki Cup this year, what does it mean to you and Seaholm community?
I was really lucky enough to know Keith and to get to spend time with him. And he was such an impactful human being and made such a big impact on not only our students and our other staff members, but all of us, myself included. So to be able to honor Keith in an event like this it makes it one of the most important nights of the year. I look forward to it every year.
Thank you so much. Again, that was me with Aaron Frank. Back to you, Carter.
Thank Zoe and thank you, Aaron Frank. And yeah, the Seaholm fan turnout has been a lot, and not just family, but a lot of friends, a lot of friends. And Seaholm on top, 2-1 here, and they're attacking. They're gonna take a shot at goal. Ooh, just a bit wide. And we are 29 minutes left to play in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup, 2-1.
And I personally think this game is so unique because, Keith was involved with, both programs. And, he was a teacher and tennis coach at Seaholm. And, he was first team All-State tennis player at Brother Rice. So I know that this is a very personal game to both programs. And, just seeing who can really, because, it's just so close to home, who can really fight the hardest for this.
Yeah, and as Ed Bernacki said in an earlier interview, they're only 1 mile apart from each other. So, that's why there's a great crowd turnout by the Brother Rice student section. But they've been fairly quiet since the 2-1 goal. And that's just something that you can't really expect, just something that's insane. So here we go. We have 28 minutes left to play in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. And let's see here. 2-1.
And both teams, I think, they both have what it takes. I mean, in 2022, Seaholm had their best season, in recent memory, posting a 16-2-3 record. And 2021, looking back at Brother Rice, was a magical year for them. And they had a 10-7-4 record and would advance all the way to the championship game. Unfortunately fell to Grand Rapids Christian 2-1. So they know what it takes, and they know what it takes to be a team and be a well-oiled machine and play together.
Yeah, so that's an amazing insight, and it looks to be a goal kick here for the Warriors. Sebastian Morin doing everything he can, but Seaholm has taken a 2-1 lead atop of him. How important was it for Seaholm to take all of the life out of the Brother Rice crowd when Kennedy went over there? I could hear nothing but screaming, loving, passionate Brother Rice Warrior fans. What is that? Because I have the window open and I'm hearing nothing from them, and they're trying to do everything they can to urge this Warriors team back into contention.
I'm glad they kind of turned it around and just kind of fired up a little bit. I was starting to get word from here upstairs. Like, I absolutely could not hear anything along with you as well. So using that momentum as just, not something to be defeated, but something to, fire them up. Like, we are not going to take that level of disrespect.
And number 20, Liam Kerr, should come off the field. It's a yellow card, so he must sit, but he can return later in tonight's matchup. And Aiden Perro is going to come in to replace him. And let's head down to Zoe, who is with the athletic trainer for the Seaholm Maples.
I'm here with Aaliyah, the athletic trainer. On days like this where it's hot and humid, what precautions should the athletes take to stay?
Ensure hydration, and they should be eating a lot of food 2, even 1 day before. I always tell them they should be eating more and drinking more than they think they need to, especially because these kids are young and they don't know any better. So I tell them to eat like it's Thanksgiving, especially during their entire season.
And when a player gets hurt or down, what is your thought process having to go and be fast and help them immediately?
It depends on the sport and depending on the person, but usually I'll give them about 5 seconds to get back up, and if they don't get back up, I immediately run onto the field and I do my evaluation in my head of thinking like it could be A, B, or C, and then I just run through it really fast.
Thank you. Again, that was Aaliyah, the athletic trainer. Back to you, Carter.
Thanks, Zoe. And that was Javier Mino on the slide tackle there. Multiple Brother Rice players on the ground, but here we go. Throw in for Brother Rice, trying to get some momentum back into tonight's game. And number 4, Max Collins, the senior for the Maples. Ooh, nice header there by number 5, Marco Rodriguez, the senior from Seahome. And the Warriors goalkeeper, Sebastian Lauren, gonna get a nice save there. Nice little contest for the ball, but it's gonna keep rolling towards the far side. Has to go out of play. Throw in for Seahome. And we have 25 minutes left in the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. 2-1. Seahome on top. They have been controlling the pace, but there was a time where, Brother Rice was fired up. Brooke, what does Brother Rice have to do to, get back in the driver's seat of this game, pedal to the metal? What do they have to do?
I think they just need to, continue to use each other and, bounce ideas off of each other, get creative. Obviously, Seahome is a competitive team, and, so are they. So I think it's just about, who is, playing the smartest, good passes, good shots, communication, all of that plays a factor.
Yeah, and some substitutions in here. Number 17, Maximus Lumage coming out. Number 20, Jake Russell for the Warriors. And play on here. Throw in for Seahome. Contested on the far side in Seahome territory. Brother Rice looking to attack. Passing the ball around. Going towards the... Still on the far side of the field. Loses the possession of the ball. Seahome going to boot that towards midfield. But no possession for Brother Rice. Brother Rice still in contention. They are moving. Seahome moving. Nice little clear there. Brother Rice trying to get contention of the ball, but still cannot find the possession. And that's Seahome to throw it in. And here we go. We have 24 minutes left to play in the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup, the 6th edition. It's 2-1. Seahome on top. Mayo Ballini has had the go-ahead goal from TJ Cotilla. And our score is 2-1. Seahome Maples on top.
I really thought it was interesting, the athletic trainer, getting to talk about, what it really takes, on the flip side of the games, just being there.
Yeah, that's some insight that, you don't see them every day. You don't really hear about the athletic trainers, the athletic director. But tonight we're going to talk to him, hear some insight. All you see on the field is the players and the referee. But behind the field, there is a whole army of people making sure that, these people are fit to play on their best game. They try and win, the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup.
It just goes to show how much of a village it really takes to really put this kind of thing together and, just keeping, both teams in shape and healthy and safe, but letting them, play on and play competitively.
Yeah, 100%. And Rowan Hanush had the last scoring attempt, but went just wide. Seahome crowd, blue, sigh of sadness. The Warriors fans, sigh of relief. That's going to go bouncing down the sideline. That's going to go out of play, near side, and deep in Brother Rice territory. And that is going to be throw-in for number 20, Liam Kerr, the junior. And right now, and in comes a Brother Rice sub, Ryan Haradi, And coming out, number 16, Arnoldo Garcia. And 22 minutes left to play. Seaholm controlling the game 2-1 right here on BCTV. Seaholm trying to gain possession from Brother Rice here, but nothing can happen. Ooh. Hanush trying to get possession of the ball, but nothing can happen. And Seaholm just going to clear that out of their own territory. It's been a nice little kick there.
Seaholm in no hurry to put the ball back in play, trying to kill as much clock time as possible and really stall out this game and make smart decisions as this time continues.
And that's really the only thing you can do when you're Seaholm. You know, you got the lead, you're in the driver's seat, you got the momentum, but, you know, there's not much else you can do as Seaholm, you know, but all you have to do is, you know, maybe get an insurance goal, do something to, you know, get the you know, the weight of the coach off your shoulders. You know, they just want something to be able to, you know, say, hey, we beat you guys by 2. Do it next year. And, you know, they're in the driver's seat. Hanush, he scored 1 time. Let's head down to Zoe Stoller, who's with student manager from Brother Rice.
Thank you, Carter. I'm here with Zach. Zach, as student manager, what is your role that you do with this team?
Yeah, my role is kind of just keep stats, kind of keep everyone organized, get the waters for everybody, if anything, need anything, balls, anything, but kind of just keep the team organized, just team spirit. Yeah.
How do you think your team's looking so far this year?
One of those so far this year, big game. New to the team this year, just senior, wanted to come manage, but we look pretty good.
What is your relation with the sport of soccer? Anything in particular?
No soccer for me. Just love watching soccer, love the game. Respect for the game.
Thank you. That was Zach. Back to you, Carter.
Thanks. So, you know, as they said, 1-0. Next game they play is the 21st of August against St. John's Jesuit in Toledo, Ohio. So a little bit of a road trip, a little bit farther away than the mile that's here in Seaholm. And we have an injury time out. That player definitely looking to be hurting a lot. And there'll be an injury timeout with 19:51 left to play in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. 2-1, Seaholm in the driver's seat. You're watching this game right here on BCTV, and this player's been on the ground for a minute. Let's see what's happened. Ooh, he just fell down. And he looks, I don't want to speculate, but it appears that he is cramping. You know, that's just something, you know, with the heat, you know, how detrimental is that when, you know, you have the heat? You know, how detrimental is that to see a player hurt?
You know, it's definitely got to put a lot of added pressure, especially to his teammates as well. You know, thankfully he's getting back up, but, you know, it's, you know, the weather, like the athletic trainer said, you know, did these boys prepare? Did they eat correctly? You know, a lot of factors weigh into injuries and how this game could go.
100%. That was number 15, Colin Dobbs, the forward for the Brother Rice Warriors. You know, and not much is going your way anymore in the second half. The second half has been Seaholm all the way. Seaholm, you know, trying to, you know, keep this way. You know, how detrimental is that for, you know, first you get a goal scored on you after, you know, you had the momentum, you had it rolling, you had it rolling. You know, now a player getting hurt.
So I definitely think that there is a little bit of fire. You know, they're warmed up. You know, I think that, you know, Seaholm doesn't want to take this loss on their home opener, their home field. You know, they have huge turnout. You know, Keith's family is here. You know, there's just a lot on the line, and so I think that it's definitely the halftime talk with the coach definitely was, you know, let's lock in.
Yeah, 100%. And Brother Rice and chase, but cannot get anything there. Throw in for Seaholm. You know, as I said before, you know, the heat, you know, as Kennedy said, you know, that's going to be something. And, oh, Rowan Hanush is also cramping. He's been a really key piece of this Seaholm team, and that would be detrimental. And when I mean that, you know, he's cramping, but he also has a goal tonight, and that would be really bad if, you know, for Seaholm, if one of their goal scorers goes out, you know, that just would be detrimental. How detrimental would that be?
It's always hard losing, you know, your key players, you know, your key attackmen, you know, just people who really set the tone for the game. And, you know, I think that it's going to be important for, you know, them to use each other. You know what I mean? Spread out the talent, spread out, you know, how the gameplay, and you know, be smart about it. Use each other, because that really is what this game is about: coming together as a team, fundraising, honoring Keith and his family and his legacy. So there's a lot that plays into that.
100%, and that's going to be a throw-in for Brother Rice here, deep in C-home territory. That is going to be number 14, Filippo Leone. Nice job getting that, you know, just away from the goal. A little bit less deep, if you want to say that, into C-home territory. But the 5-yard line, playing football. Nice interception by C-home. They're going to boot that one down the field. That's going to go almost to midfield. That's going to be number 18, Javier Amino, intercepting that for Brother Rice. Brother Rice trying to get that going, trying to get something moving. But right now, nothing, and I mean nothing, has gone their way in the second half. Ryan Hanush in pursuit of the ball, along with number 13, Colton Kitola, for Brother Rice. And there are going to be some substitutions. Number 19 and number 24 for C-home. Number 24, Aiden Pero. Evo Gertz, sorry. Number 19, Evo Gertz. And out comes number 3, number 11, and number 10. Alex Martins, Kiefer Horniak, and TJ Cotilla. TJ Cotilla does have an assist on the night. Number 11, Nick Alexander for Brother Rice, coming off the pitch. You know, this late in the game, this hot of a night, you know, how does that, you know, really affect, you know, how these players are, you know, feeling? You know, also, it did pour this morning, very heavily pour. So the, you know, it's gonna be really high humidity. Pitch might still be a tiny bit wet, but you know, it's really, you know, starting to wear on these players. How much is it wearing on these players?
Well, I think we've seen a lot of slips, you know, a lot of slide tackles. You know, that could have anything to do with the wet turf. You know, I don't completely know, but I think it's going to be really important, you know, regardless of the weather, just to have fun out there, you know, and I think that that is, you know, when you have fun and when you're bouncing, like I said, you know, using your teammates, things will go your way.
And number 10, Ryan Hayes, the captain, falls to the ground. We have about 15 minutes left to play in this 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. C-home on top, 2-1. They have been in the driver's seat for all of the second half. And C-home looking to improve to 3-1-1. Groves looking to keep that perfect win streak alive. Granted, it's only 1-0, but that'd still be good for team morale. And C-home going to clear that one. Number 14 for Brother Rice. So to have possession of the ball. That's going to get the Grove student section fired up a little bit. See if they can get a little bit of an attack. It's going to boot that down. And Brother Rice. Brother Rice for the throw in here.
And I think now more than ever, it's going to be time for, you know, Brother Rice being down, use your teammates. You know, use your teammates, make some good passes, get each other open, utilize each other for to take home this win tonight. Because it's still, you know, it's a close game.
100%, that's going to go out. Last touch by C-home. And C-home head coach Greg Perkins, not very happy with the call there, but, you know, play on. Put it behind you, and oh, that looks to be a hand ball.
Looks like Greg is and ref have it a little bit.
Greg's getting up all close and personal in the referee's ear. And here we go. Number 4, Carlos Nowum is here to take this free kick. And that's going to go deep into C-home territory. So Brother Rice trying to attack. That's going to be C-home trying to play some defense. Ooh. And that is going to be nice little clear there by the Brother Rice goalie. Brother Rice trying to get anything, and ooh, a little bit of contact there. And injury timeout. Both players are hurt. Number 10, Ryan Hayes, the captain for Brother Rice, and then C-home player number 5, Marco Rodriguez, are both hurt. And looks to be some cramping there. Marco Rodriguez, that's just a tough hit. How much can that, hurt your team?
I think, it definitely got to put a lot of pressure on, both teams and kind of, lower confidence a little bit. No one wants to see their teammate be injured, and it almost looks like they both nodded heads.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but.
And let's head down to Zoe Stoller with some info on the referee on the sideline. Zoe?
Thank you, Carter. Things are obviously getting very heated on the sideline. Over on the Seahome bench, the Seahome coach talking to the ref goes, "Are you not seeing this? You're not giving us anything." So obviously things are getting very heated, and hopefully things turn up for the rest of the game. Thank you. Back to you, Carter.
Thanks, Zoe. That's some good intel because, up here in the booth, you can't really hear anything about what they're hearing. Number 10 for Brother Rice, Ryan Hayes, has a very bloody nose. It's going to go all over those white jerseys, so that's going to not look good. Hope the equipment staff can get blood stains out of jerseys because, they're going to need some help on that for Ryan Hayes' jersey, but, good to see that, he's up and okay. He's going to go on the sideline for a little break there. It's always good to see people up and okay because the last thing you want is somebody getting seriously hurt. And let's head down to Zoe Stoller, who's got some cheerleaders on the sideline. Zoe?
Thank you, guys. I'm here with two Seahome dance teams, Annalise and Morgan. So, Annalise, being able to perform at football and soccer games, obviously they're both very different environments. What would you prefer?
I really love the football game environment just because the crowd gets so hyped, but of course we're so honored to be part of a special game like this. So this is a really great experience for us.
Morgan, do you guys do anything other than the sports games?
Yeah, so we do basketball, as you said, the sports games, but we also go to competitions in places like Florida and Chicago with the whole team. So you have the option to do both teams or just one of them, game day or competition.
Thank you, guys. Once again, that was Annalise and Morgan from the Seahome dance team. Back to you, Carter and Brooke.
That's some good information, and I was actually wrong. Not the Seahome cheerleaders, Seahome dance team, so we're going to have to add that to my list of notes. Getting increasingly longer as the night goes on. This is a good game here, 2-1. 12 minutes left to play here in regulation in the second half for the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. I'm Carl Malski, she's Brooke Sanders, and we are here live at Maple Field, more early on BCTV.
And Leo Bolani has the game-winning goal right now. I think that he might be the front runner for the BCTV Player of the Game. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. That might be something to look out for, but it's not over till it's over. So some player could throw a hat trick on us. With closing time. Still a chance for Brother Rice come back. All they need is one goal or one call to go their way, and that could get the Seahome fans out of this one and the Brother Rice in here. And just a reminder for all you fans, no overtime, extra time, or penalty kicks when the game hits 0. The game is over. That's something different than college and professionals. And let's head down to Zoe Stoller, who has more information on number 22, Luca Siggett. Zoe?
Oh, thank you, guys. Obviously, thank you, guys. Obviously, on the sideline, it's getting very heated right now. But just a little bit ago, number 22 was actually number 13 having to change his jersey, or not number 13, but he had to change his jersey due to blood, so he's now number 22. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Zoe. And I think the person you were thinking about was number 10, Ryan Hayes. So he's on the sideline. And while we were away listening to you, there was a hard hit to the goalie. The Seahome bench erupted, but the ref letting these boys play. And as you saw, number 10, Ryan Hayes for Brother Rice, already got hit, bloody nose. So referee might want to tighten things down a little to prevent anything. But overall, pretty good game here. 2-1. 10 minutes left in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup right here on BCTV. I'm Karmalski, joined alongside by Brooke Sanders. Zoe Stoller's on the sideline in case anything important happens. So they're battling it out. It's going to be a throw-in for Seaholm. Substitution. Ryan Hayes wearing the number 22 coming back in. Number 21 for Seaholm heading out. Leo Bellini. Number 3, TJ Cotilla coming back in. He was part of that, if I can remember correctly, he was part of that heavy collision which Ryan Hayes did to develop a play he knows from. So that's something to notice, and it's something you gotta look out for. Soccer, some think it's not that physical of a game. It actually really is. You've seen this. You've seen it so much happen, and there's so much different aspects that don't really happen in any other sport.
And by far, we are down to 9 minutes left in this game, and multiple injured players, multiple players to the ground. So this is just a very intense battle, and you can feel the passion just from all the way upstairs. And
yeah, that was a really tough kick there. Goalie fell down. That was a chance, get a score on the board, an insurance goal for Seaholm as we look here in this replay. Number 9 for Seaholm, Gavin McLaughlin, the junior, dribbling it towards the net, but in the end, unsuccessful. Still 2-1 here, and we're inside the 10-minute mark. 9 minutes left to go here in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. And here we go. Some team is 9 minutes away from winning this. Right now, Seaholm is looking to put their name on that and get the trophy back in their trophy case. After that loss last year, 2-1, looking to flip the script a little bit. If they, don't score, then it'll be 2-1, and it'll be Seaholm taking the lead in this one, and that's gonna be cleared very deep across midfield. And Leo Bellini has had the go-ahead goal from TJ Cotilla, and that was something that really turned the tides there. The Brother Rice student section still on their feet, but they have been very, very, very quiet ever since that goal.
you got to think for both teams goalkeepers, especially Brother Rice. You have to really be focused and locked in. This game is still potentially winnable, but obviously you don't want them up by a 2 lead, the Maples. So both goalkeepers just honestly have to lock in and just really communicate and use their players for sure. They're the last line of defense.
100%, and we have about 7 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. I'm Karmalski, joined alongside by Brooke Sanders, and we are right here on the best broadcasting channel in all the land, BCTV. It's a nice kick there by Seaholm. Kicking across the field to Brother Rice's goalie, Sebastian Lauren. He was doing really well, but then, he let up 2 goals, one early in the game and one early in the second half. So, that might be something, touch base on, something to think about. And Seaholm trying to keep Brother Rice out of the goal, playing max defense. Defense. Yes, an insurance goal would be better, but insurance goal would be helpful, but playing defense would be 100% more better. Because, if you can keep them from scoring, then, you'll end up victorious and you'll take home the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup trophy. Very coveted, very prestigious, and it's in its 6th annual edition. It's been in Brother Rice's trophy case for 4 out of the last 5 years because they tied in 2022, so it's stayed in Brother Rice's trophy case. Something that, you really have to think about. Seaholm looking to take it back for them, take the lead of this series, and it is 2-1. Seaholm on top with about 6 minutes left to play in the 6th edition of the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. Brooke, coming in on 6 minutes left to play. What is going through your mind as Seaholm, the team that is leading this game, really looking to take this game, and nice save there by Seaholm's goalie Brody Feldmeyer. What is going through your mind? You just have to keep the lead, pretty much keep the lead going.
100%. I think that it is just about being patient at this point, and can't say it enough, playing smart. We are down to 5 minutes and 40 seconds right now, and it's going to be detrimental to Seaholm, but not only Seaholm, both teams, honestly, just to really play their game. This is still a very close game. An insurance goal would be nice, like you said, but at this point they have to, really just communicate and use each other, help each other out.
Yeah, 100%. Feldmeyer has been busy, but he's just made a very clutch save. And number 24, Brother Rice, Jake Russell, limping around in the field. Could that be something to look out for? Could that be a quick substitution? Nobody getting ready to sub on the Brother Rice side of the pitch, but could something happen? Quick sub. We were in 5 minutes, and in pursuit, Seaholm just wide of the goal.
That one got a little close there.
And that was a good save by Sebastian Lauren. And the Seaholm player, number 9, Gavin McLaughlin, the junior. He's been pretty quiet today, but, he had a very nice shot. Here it is, just open run.
Yeah, and it just looks like it just went a little wide of the goal. And I can take Carter. I think a lot of this game has to do with a lot of the underclassmen, especially, number 9, a junior, stepping up and, to the plate and just, having what it takes. And, I think, again, you asked me about captainship and, what that means. And being a captain, it means setting the tone for younger players like number 9 and, just being able to, pave the way and show them how it's done so they can eventually step into those shoes.
100%. And that player that was in pursuit of the Seaholm player, Maximus Lumaj, that's going to be a corner kick, the last Brother Rice defense before that. Oh, that's going to hit the crossbar. Nice save there by Sebastian Moore, number 27, the Brother Rice goalkeeper. He's been on fire today. He has let 2 past him, but, those were 2 hard ones. The second one, put Seaholm in the driver's seat was, he tried to dive for one side, and the guy just dribbled right past him, and nothing you can do about that one.
Look at this replay. I mean, he just said, not today. Not today.
100% not today. Trying to keep Brother Rice in this one, and we are just under 4 minutes here in the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. It is 2-1. Seaholm Maples in control of the game right here on BCTV. The best broadcast station in all the land, if you ask me. Here comes, appears to be a substitution here. Number 21 for Seaholm Maples, Leo Ballini is going to come in for number 9, Gavin McLaughlin. And we have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to play here in the 6th annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. Seaholm looking to stay on top and get the trophy back in their trophy case after last year. A very hard loss to Brother Rice here, 2-1.
And I think it's funny because you were asking me earlier, how does, Brother Rice's student section in the first half, them being loud and just super enthusiastic, how does that affect Seaholm? But I think the tactic all along was just to, remain patient, remain focused, and, remember why you're here and who you're playing for and what you are playing for specifically.
Yeah, and, just keep swimming. And in Seaholm's case, just keep scoring. And that will keep the Brother Rice student section very quiet. The Forest has spread out once again. They're claiming land into Brother Rice territory. They're starting at about the end zone of the Seaholm, of the Brother Rice side, and going all the way in to about the 40-yard line of Seaholm territory. So it's a big portion of the field. Brother Rice, not stretched out. They ran multiple bleachers over on the other side towards, where the Seaholm goalie is, walking around, roaming around. And that's number 21 for Seaholm, Leo Ballini. It's number 14, Ronnie McLaughlin, 2-1. 2 minutes left to play here in the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup, 2-1. Seaholm in the driver's seat, looking to stay defensive for just 2 minutes. If that's all you can do, and you'll have the coveted Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. You will take control of this series, and you will have bragging rights for the rest of the season. And all that the Seahome coach can really do is watch the clock, watch the players, and make sure that, it's the ball stays out of Brother Rice territories. No jump scares, no heart attacks, 'cause that would be the worst thing. And oh my gosh.
Was that wasn't even a goal? I don't even think that was a shot.
And that was a goal for Seahome, and that's gonna be an insurance goal. That's pretty much gonna seal the deal. And that was number 21, Leo Ballini. I've called his number a few times today. He was waving goodbye to the Brother Rice fans, and yeah, they are taking his advice and they are out of here. And you'd think there's a fire over there, but they are moving. They are moving.
I think we need a replay on that. That happened so quick.
And that was amazing.
Here's our replay. Looks like a bottom left corner just slams. I don't even think the goalie was ready.
Yeah, and there was
Sebastian
nothing
Morin.
he could do. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there, but he shot that from pretty deep in, pretty close to midfield, sorry. And that one, just going to try and waste some clock here. 1 minute left to go here in the coveted 6th edition of the Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup here on the best TV station all the way on BCTV. And that is his second goal of tonight. And that's got to be an amazing confidence booster going into the season. Still very early in tonight's season, in this year's season. And you're just looking to, get in the driver's seat, try and, replay, what they've done in the past few years. A few years ago, 2022, Seahome had the best season. What do you have on that?
I think, again, Seahome knows what it takes, and I think, they just had to, be patient. Like, at that point, even before this last play, you can feel the trophy in their hands, and they can most definitely could feel it, the win, taking that win home tonight. So it's just staying patient, and, again, that's what got them available to make that goal. And, number 21 on Seahome. And we have 7 seconds left to play.
And Seahome on top of this one, 3-1. Seahome is going to be victorious and take home the coveted Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. And they'll take it out of Brother Rice's trophy room, and that is going to be tonight's game. 3-1, Seahome Maples on top, getting an insurance goal late in tonight's matchup. And Brother Rice was out of here. They had some good chances too, but Seahome said, nope, we are not going to let you win here on our home turf, and we are going to beat you guys, and we are going to win.
Yeah, and I think honestly, the name of the game tonight was just patience. It was just patience and, humility. Obviously, Brother Rice came out, intimidated them, student section, but, they overcame that and, they stayed patient, stayed humble, and look where that got them.
Yeah, 100%. Their student section didn't do a ton of crazy chants. They didn't do a ton of crazy stuff, but overall, they kind of just, stayed strong and, didn't let that. They were, pretty much getting beaten down by the Brother Rice student section. That's some good sportsmanship there by the handshake line. No hard feelings from what I'm seeing. Just, really, everyone's, really happy. That was an amazing game. Brother Rice played their hardest out there. They did everything they could, and I mean everything. They tried everything they could. Nothing did not help them in the second half. Anything other than, Seahome's 2 goals. Seahome really, came out to start the second half firing on all cylinders. They did everything they could. They really worked their hardest, off season. I bet this is something that, they were looking forward to coming out of that, Boyne Mountain Invitational, and they will win the coveted Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup, presented by Will Bernacki and the Bernacki family. This is the trophy presentation. This is the first time since 2023. And there they go. They're going to cheer.
Oh, that's nice.
They're going to cheer and have fun while Brother Rice looks on. They're going to clap. So that's some great sportsmanship there. They're obviously, a little sad, but, they're not going to, start any fights. They're not going to, say, bad job. They played their hardest, and for Brother Rice's credit, they had, all the chances the first half went their way. The first half was theirs, in my opinion. And the second half, was all Seahome. And that's just all, you can really do. You can't really do much about that. All Seahome all the way in the second half. That's pretty much the storyline of the game. Seahome is going to win that. And Seaholm is going to finish tonight's game 3-1-1, taking a little bit of a break. Next game is September 4th against Troy, and it is going to be a home matchup. That's some good sportsmanship there. Everybody partying down in the bleachers. Everyone in a good mood. You know, mostly still Seaholm fans. Everybody still happy. And 3-1. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere for the player of the game right here on BCTV.
Bloomfield Township Senior Services promotes wellness and strengthens the community through social connections, fitness classes, aquatics, day trips, and more. Our staff is here to serve you, offering lifelong learning and interactive opportunities for residents age 50 and above. Invest in your vitality with us. Follow us to learn more and stay up to date. We look forward to meeting you.
Welcome back here one final time here on BCTV in the 6th Annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. Seaholm victorious in this one, 3-1. And Zoe Stoller is standing by with our BCTV Player of the Game.
Thank you, Carter. I'm here with Leo Bellini, player of the game. You were able to get the second goal to get you in the lead, and then you were able to get your game-winning goal for the third. What was going through your mind through both those goals?
Through the second one, I just really want to go. I don't know. I saw TJ with the cross in. It was like perfect. So I just ran at it and like whacked my head at it, and it felt super good to score on Sebi, who's my club keeper. So yeah. And then the third goal, I just saw him off his line. I hit it. I didn't think it was gonna go in, but somehow it curled in, and it was amazing.
This being such a significant game in the community, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, it's a great game. I have a ton of friends on that team, my best friends on that team, and it's so good to beat them. Last year we came off a loss, and it really sucked, so it feels so good to beat them in my last year of high school.
Obviously, you just got drenched. How are you?
Cold.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was player of the game, Leo Bellini. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Zoe, and congratulations to Leo Bellini for being our BCTV Sports Player of the Game. Brooke, any last thoughts?
So I honestly thought that this was one of the by far most exciting soccer games I've ever watched in my life. The passion, the injuries, the bounce backs, everything, it all tied together. And, with our player of the game, obviously very talented, scoring that many goals, the pressure was on. So I think both teams did an amazing job, and I can't wait to see where they go and how their season continues.
Yeah, and once again, your final score, 3-2. I'm Karmalski, she's Brooke Sanders, and from the rest of the BCTV crew, saying so long from Seaholm.
That'll do it for tonight's broadcast of the 6th Annual Keith Bernacki Memorial Cup. A terrific job by our entire BCTV crew, including the first ever class of Bloomfield Community Television Sports Broadcasting Campers. A big thank you as well to the Birmingham Area Cable Board for their partnership. I'm Brad Fetter saying so long for now. Once again, your final score from Seaholm High School, the Seaholm Maples 3, the Brother Rice Warriors 1. Thank you so much for watching. This has been an absolute pleasure.